Hey, I'm Rollo. I'm a pop producer from Australia. Welcome to the channel. Songwriting can be really challenging sometimes. It takes a lot of mental effort and consequently can take quite a long time to actually get a song finished. So I thought I'd go over some strategies to get faster at songwriting and how that can help you churn out better songs, more songs, and just have a better time doing the whole thing. Before we get into it, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and yeah, let's jump in. Tip 1, write lots of songs. I know it's kind of obvious to some extent, but writing a lot of songs just means you're going to get better at writing songs. You're going to get more efficient, faster, better typically. So what does this look like? The way that I would prescribe this method is just write a song every day. It doesn't need to be a great song. It doesn't even need to be a fully fleshed out song, just the main parts, the two verses and the choruses. I just find this way you can really churn through ideas, and then you can always come back after and then, add extra sections, add a bridge, add post choruses, pre-choruses. But basically just by going fast, you get such a large variety of songs to actually choose from, and that can be really beneficial. The biggest thing that I find slows people down in both songwriting, production, mixing is they spend way too much time on one song. Obviously by spending a lot of time on one song, it means that you can't really move on. You probably spend like 80% of the time on the last 10%, 20% of the track, as opposed to 20% on 80% of the song. So this method really, we just want to look at putting 20% of the effort in to get 80% of the result, and then moving on to the next one. And you can always come back after. That's my first tip. My second tip, which is quite related to the first one, is simplify the songwriting structure. This means potentially just getting rid of bridges and maybe post-choruses for now. Just have bare bones writing, so verses and choruses. Maybe a post-chorus, maybe a pre-chorus. See how you're feeling, but basically just leave the bridge and anything else for later. The key here is just to pump out songs, and if you make it simple, then it just allows you to actually go through ideas. You don't get stuck. You feel like you're getting momentum. The momentum makes you feel better. It's kind of a good validating cycle. Tip 3 is don't get stuck on stuff. If you can't come up with the right lyric for one line, just leave it, move on. Like, it doesn't matter. You can always send it to somebody else and they'll give you feedback. Maybe they'll help you figure out the line. I do this quite a lot with artists that I work with and projects that I'm involved with. It's just don't spend an hour trying to figure out the perfect line. Sometimes you're just not in the right headspace, so move on, come back to it. I know these tips are all kind of semi-related and similar, but don't get bogged down. I feel like that's what's inevitably going to derail your progress, is you just spend too much time on something too small that probably isn't going to be the make or break of the song anyway. So this isn't to say don't fix it, just if you're struggling, come back later. Push on, finish the song first, then come back and deal with all the minutiae. Tip 4, write with friends. Writing with other people can just be a really good way to kind of egg each other on. I do this often with a friend of mine. Somebody starts the song, then brings it to the other person, and then in that session, you can kind of bounce back and forth. One person has an idea, you push it, they run out of steam, the other person takes over, pushes it. Just working in that collaborative manner, I find really allows me to finish songs way more efficiently than I usually would by myself. I think it's just having that person to bounce off, you kind of move with each other. It's quite effective. If you have somebody who you could write songs with and they're open to it, definitely try it. It's super effective. My final tip for today's video is set a challenge. So this could be a time-based challenge. This could be just a random obstacle. So for time, you could say, I want to finish a song in an hour, or 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, and you stick to it. You go fast, you keep checking the clock. When it finishes, that's it. Obviously you can come back to the song another day or another later the same day, but that is the block that you're working in. Once it's over, you take a break. Doing this regularly will just really hone in the skill of doing it quickly, and that's the goal here, how to speed up your songwriting. Obstacles could be things like don't use the word and, or write a song about a table, or do a rhyme scheme like this, or you should get the vibe here. It's just to put some kind of creative obstacle and barrier. The main thing is just to have something that kind of changes how you usually would do it. Get yourself out of your normal process, make it a bit harder, make it a bit more fun. Sometimes making it harder will actually make you faster, because when you go back to regular songwriting, it's easier. You don't have obstacles. So it's kind of it's like resistance training. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're a pop or indie pop artist and you have songs that you're working on, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to give feedback on the song. If you're looking for a producer, I also produce, so you can hit me up about that. Yeah, if you found this helpful, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next video. See ya.